All right, guys, so now we are going to get into our main topics here. But before we do not forget that you can submit topics and questions to the show by emailing us here at honestandUneducated@gmail.com. That's honestandUneducated@gmail.com. And that being said, you can also find this, there's an audio only version of the show that goes up on like Spotify, any podcast platform, iTunes, Spotify, whatever you use to search Honest and Uneducated and subscribe to the podcast feed if you don't have time to watch it on YouTube, while you're driving or whatever, like it happens. That's why it's there. So subscribe to the podcast. And then also every Wednesdays when I'm not super back down, with bogged down with, things to do, I do post like collectible reviews, like hot toy statues, etc. So those will be coming back here once I have some time to do so. Most recently, I did a collection kind of update, so that video is up on the channel now. And other than that, every Friday we usually live stream. So if you want to come every Friday, normally around 9 p.m. Eastern time, you can come hang out with us, chill, we'll talk. Normally, depending if there's like a new release or something, like a new movie, TV show or something, we'll kind of we'll have like a spoiler discussion of it, and during the stream, and play some games, maybe whatever it is. So come, just keep an eye on the channel, subscribe, and do all that sorts of fun stuff, and then come hang out with us while we're streaming, join the discussion and whatnot. But first, let's break down this first topic. And this one's good. This one was kind of surprising. And I'm curious to see what kind of more comes from this, because at the Comic-Con at Home venture that's going on here, the most interesting thing, at least to me, that I've seen was that Star Wars released an official poster that has a young Luke Skywalker here with Grogu crafting a lightsaber.
A yellow lightsaber.
And a yellow lightsaber at that. So, the real question with this, and Rick, you kind of alluded to this and talked about that. We were talking a little bit about this prior to the show. And I think the biggest question here is like, how much of this right here, this, Luke training Grogu, are we going to see any of this? Is this
right?
Is this all going to be? Because my initial thought is the fact that this poster exists almost guarantees that we're not going to see this in the show.
Yeah,
and that's why the poster's here, because it's going to be something that happens off camera.
Yeah,
exactly. Now, that being said, they obviously release posters, plenty of posters of things that feature events that actually do happen in movies and TV shows and everything. I just don't know to what extent and lengths that we're ever going to see, CGI young Luke Skywalker again. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, my thing is too, like, Grogu's still a baby. I think, little dude can't handle a lightsaber. Like, I mean, maybe he can.
That's a fair point too.
I mean, like, you just got to think, like, he's not coordinated. He's not, and they make that very apparent in seasons 1 and 2 that, I mean, like, he's a baby. Like, he can't talk. I mean, he can communicate mentally, but
well, maybe
would you give a baby a lightsaber?
Well, maybe his training through the Force though is helping him become more mature.
Well, maybe he knows a lot more than we think he does, anyways. Because it's not like he's getting to show off a whole lot, anyways, with Mando.
Yeah. Well, that was another thing too. You kind of got to think.
He did train at the Jedi Temple.
Like, yeah, he was a youngling there. And you also, if you consider how like Yoda acted in like the OT,
yeah,
like he acted.
He's a goofy little dude.
Yeah, he acted pretty goofy. So like maybe like in the prequels, he was a pretty serious dude.
Yeah, but in the OT, like he's a goofball.
He's a goofy dude. So like maybe like I don't know, maybe he's not as immature, underdeveloped as we think. Because maybe just like it's like a normal character trait for Yoda species to be like kind of a goofball.
Yeah.
Like maybe, I don't know.
Smart goofball.
Because I guess at the same time, we really don't know how long, like what time period does this poster come from? Is this a week after the finale of season 2 or a year after?
I feel like it'd have to be a ways away.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
he's not just like picking him up like, okay, dude, we're going to go make a lightsaber now. Like first things first.
Because I think ultimately, just because of how popular Grogu is, I feel like we have to see him again at some point in The Mandalorian.
My thing that's bugging me about this poster is Luke's face. Like, I feel like he should be looking at Grogu, looking at the crystal, whatever, but he's like looking at the viewer. And to me, that just kind of throws me off. But
that is weird.
It's
Like,
just like, check out what we're doing.
yeah, that is kind of an odd choice. Like, why have him focusing? Because like Grogu's looking at the lightsaber bits.
Have him just glance at the crystal. Like, just they
Like,
could have
you'd
made his
think he'd
pupils
be
look down.
looking down at the lightsaber
Yeah.
bits. Because like he would theoretically be. Here's the other thing too that I don't. The thing I actually don't like about this poster, other than him where he's looking, I do find that to be kind of odd now that you mention it. But crafting your lightsaber is supposed to be something that you do on your own.
Yeah, not just like
So the fact that Luke's sitting there holding the kyber crystal really doesn't make a whole lot of sense with the lore. It would make a lot more sense that if Grogu had his right hand up and was holding the yellow lightsaber and Luke was just there observing him.
yeah.
That would make more sense with Jedi lore and Star Wars lore when it comes to crafting your lightsaber.
Yeah.
So that's why another thing that makes me kind of think that like maybe this isn't even like a real thing. Like this is just promotional and it's not even
Like,
how it
that's
would
what he's
happen.
doing, so we're just gonna make it into a poster, like
Yeah, because I don't know. Fundamentally speaking, why is he looking at us? Why is Luke looking at us? And why is he holding the Kyber crystal?
right.
Those two things you go completely against what would be happening if Grogu was actually like crafting his lightsaber.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't know. So I don't. Do you think though we're gonna see Grogu back in season 3?
Oh, yeah.
You think season 3 is early as season 3?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, season 3 could be 5 years down the road. Not, like, for us, but, like,
Like in the show?
yeah, like, time-wise, it could be
I don't know. I don't think they're. Well, I guess they could. I don't know how.
he could already be ruling Mandalore for all we know.
Well, that's the
Apparently, it
thing.
is filming in secrecy, too.
My assumption with season 3 of Mando was going to be that he was going to go with Bo-Katan and retake Mandalore in some capacity. I figured that's what like the whole season would be about.
Yeah.
I don't know though. Like, is that one? Because that'd be a kind of a big deviation from how the show has been up
Yeah,
to
from,
now.
like, cool bounty hunter guy to, like, leading and ruling
Well, not
Mandalore.
even so much that because I don't think he's gonna. I don't think Din Djarin is gonna ultimately be the ruler of Mandalore. I think they're gonna find a way within the code to have Bo take the dark saber and go and do it because that's like I mean that's been her thing. Like
Bo.
yeah, all through like Clone Wars and Rebels, like she has fought for Mandalore like her whole life. Like her sister was literally the prime minister of Mandalore. You know, like
Right.
or queen, whichever one it was. I can't remember.
Duchess.
Sort of Duchess. There we go. I knew there was some sort of hierarchy that they did there. In this regard, the ruler, put it that way.
Yeah.
So I mean, it would just make sense that Bo would be the person to rule it. Other than it just doesn't make sense for Din to do it. He hasn't.
No.
He doesn't even know what the hell. He's in this zealot cult, this weird offshoot of Mandalorians. You know, pretty much Death Watch.
Yeah.
It's like who he's with.
Religious fundamentalists.
Yeah, like so, like that's never worked out in Mandalore's history. Like at least since the Clone Wars and
I
everything.
don't think it's worked out in like our history. If anybody does that, like
Yeah, for sure. So it would make sense for that. But the thing is, like the show itself, like season 1 and 2 have always been like these. Like each episode was its own like single adventure. There
Yeah.
was the overarching plot, but it wasn't like each episode was part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it was one continuous story. The retaking of Mandalore, I imagine, would be like one consistent story,
right.
unless it's like wrapped up really quickly. But I don't
Yeah.
know why would you wrap it up really quickly? Because it's kind of like a big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
So like I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens with that. Because if it is that, I don't know where Grogu and Luke would fit back into that. You know, and then if we do see Grogu again, do you think we're going to see CGI Luke, or do you think he won't be there?
I think he will be. 'Cause people really liked it, and Disney does what people like. I feel like so.
Yeah, but
That's why I think Grogu will be back.
Grogu has to be back because it's Grogu. Like you know, what I mean, and frankly, the first 2 seasons of the show are based around Grogu, and he became such a big worldwide phenomenon that like they have to bring it back at some point. My only thing is like with Luke, the reason his return or his appearance was so impactful is really because nobody expected it.
Right.
So if they just keep bringing Luke back, do you think it would like kind of lose some of the magic and the appeal, or do you think like people would just
Yeah,
be
I mean, the
happy to see
mystique
Luke?
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's really possible.
I don't know. I think in the end though, just seeing like this good version of Luke Skywalker is cool enough on its own. Like
Yeah, I mean,
to
it's
me,
kind of redeemed him from the, sequel trilogy
that's what
in a
I'm
way.
saying. So like I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm curious to see where the hell it goes, and I
Right.
wonder if like the rumors have been that like Mando and Ahsoka and Boba Fett are all gonna like tie into some like Avengers style team up. So I
Yeah.
wonder how much of season 3 of Mando and then book because I think we're getting Book of Boba Fett first. So I wonder how that's gonna tie in with Mando, and then Mando will tie in with Ahsoka, and then I'm wondering how all that's gonna happen because like my initial thought was Thrawn will ultimately be the big bad guy they go up against
Right.
because Thrawn was name dropped in Ahsoka's episode. So he's a large enough threat for them all to have to team up against, but
Right.
I'll just
Right.
have to wait and see. I'm curious to see how they execute it. But the question is, though, guys, what do you think about this poster? Do you find it? Do you think this is like an actual like canon lore based thing that happened, like in this exact way? Do you think we're going to see Luke and Grogu in season 3 of Mando, or ever again in general? And do you think that like Mando season 3 is going to have like a time skip, or do you think it's going to pick up immediately after? Whatever you think, let us know down in the comment section below.